Sometimes looking across the big pond is very, very interesting because one will notice that in the area of plastic care or rubber and tire care outdoors, Americans use the so-called VRT or VRP products, which in this case stands for Adams Vinyl, Rubber and Trim, and in the case of Chemical Guys for Vinyl, Rubber and Plastic, thus covering plastics, rubber and tire surfaces both indoors and in part outdoors. 2001. They are very popular because they are very versatile, as they can be applied to all surfaces or many surfaces. And I thought, let's simply compare two products that appear very similar at first glance and promise exactly the same thing. That means, perhaps, and in the best case, there may even be clear differences here, and we can recommend one product more than the other, right? That is the reason for this video series, as it is part of a whole series where I start comparing different plastic products in pairs. To be honest, my suspicion is that the products all do the same thing in the end. Yes, some are gel-like or similar to liquid wax like the two here. Some can be sprayed, yes, and some are a bit more hydrophobic than others. But so far I really haven't found any that wouldn't darken the plastic at all when used outdoors. That's why I am very curious to see if any differences will be found between the two products. First, we will take a relatively brief look at what these products are and what is promised. So the most important information is actually right on the front. It is a VRT or VRP, meaning a product that can be applied to vinyl, rubber and trim or plastic surfaces. This means plastic, rubber surfaces and also tire surfaces in both indoor and outdoor areas. So here with the Chemical Guys, it is stated on the front, while with Adams it is written on the back. This is always important for Americans. Dry to the touch, meaning it should not leave a greasy surface. And then both have roughly the same thing in the description. The Chemical Guys just do it with a few more words. It is supposed to protect against UV light, refresh the color, and leave a satin finish regardless of the surface. That means whether we are talking about plastic, tires, or rubber surfaces. This is also what there is to know here. While we see that there are no warning symbols on any of the containers, as you can see, these are American bottles. Americans have different regulations here, so that doesn't mean it would be the same in Europe. But generally speaking, one must say that these VRT products are actually relatively safe products, and they rarely have any warning symbols on them unless they are formulated differently, like the Kochemi Nano Magic Plastic, which has more symbols on it. The more important factor is the price. The Adams costs about $20 in the USA, while the Chemical Guys cost $12 in the USA, which is significantly less. I also found both products in Swiss shops because Adams is currently a bit harder to get in our area. In Swiss shops where I found it, the Adams is priced at around 30 Swiss francs, while the Chemical Guys is priced between 23 and 25 francs. I currently haven't found a German shop where it is available. The Chemical Guys VRP is available in German shops, and it is priced somewhere between $16 and $19. Now we know everything there is to know about the products, and we can start the test. As you can see, I have prepared the area. It is cleaned, it is taped off, and we can get started. I will spare you the study of the product promises and application instructions here, as they are very, very similar. Both are supposed to darken the plastic, and both should be dry to the touch, meaning they should not leave any greasy film behind. And both are identical in application, meaning you should distribute them with the applicator, wipe them off, and then you're done. So absolutely uncomplicated and problem-free. We start here on the page with the VRP from Chemical Guys with their well-known dispenser heads. I think they are fantastic, honestly. I think they are really, really good. So the consistency looks relatively thick, so I would describe it as gel-like. And then we start to spread it. Now, a very important note. This is a relatively new plastic that is not heavily faded. But this is the situation that many of you also have. You want to protect and maintain your plastics in 2021 before they even fade. Therefore, we will not see such strong, refreshing effects and differences from the very beginning as we would on a faded plastic. But that's good. That's a realistic situation that you will also have. And definitely, you can see it refreshing. The VRP from Chemical Guys. I wipe off the excess again. So, And then we are done here as well. Absolutely simple and hassle-free task. VRT from Adams. Along with typical dispensing heads that are often seen in many products in the USA, is thicker, definitely thicker, than the VRP from Chemical Guys. It drips down from the applicator with less risk, but you can already see that it doesn't work as well into the plastic as the product from Chemical Guys. So there is a difference. I would say these are not identical products. Slight difference, but it can still be applied easily and without any problems. So both are very pleasant products to work with now. We will now remove the tapes and see that both have created a strong refreshment. But I have learned and noticed that if you were to spray water on it now, you would see that a puddle of water remains. These products really need to dry completely. This usually takes a day or two, and only then can you apply water. So we'll see each other again tomorrow. Both products have now had the whole day to air out. I can already see that the beautiful color refreshing effect is still there. But that's exactly what we will look at together now, just like the beading behavior. So let's first take a look at the finish and note that the two products are absolutely identical in appearance. The refreshing effect is identical, and the matte or gloss level is identical. Well, I really don't see difference, no matter from which angle I look at it. So regardless, which of the two products was first on the market, one seems to have copied the other. I mean, in the worst case, well, what does worst mean? In the worst case, Usand, it is such that the two products are identical even because they are purchased from the same white label. We don't know, maybe. So we are, of course, also looking at the beading behavior. Yes, you see, this is not faded plastic. There are still remnants of some other plastic care product here, but we tend to see a little water puddle. Well, how does it look with the Chemical Guys? You see, a bit of an emulsion needs to be washed away first, and then there is a beading behavior. Yes, one cannot say otherwise, it is there. It's not the best we've ever seen, but it is present. Adams is exactly identical and the same. Here, a clear reference surface with a slight puddle of water below. Beading behavior. So both produce one, but neither of them is the best. So it's very, very difficult to tell the two apart. And I mean, we've seen this quite often now, that when you choose the right pairs for such a comparison, there are hardly any differences because they are relatively similar. Both products are now undergoing long-term tests here on the Mini, and if there is anything to report, you will be the first to know. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up, feel free to support the channel with a free subscription, and tune in for the next video.